It's honestly, I mean, one of the big things I've learned from Tony is you got to have an idea and you just got to run with it. You got to find the people that want to run with you. I think that's one of the reasons why Tony and I worked so well as a team, was because he's the guy with the crazy ideas. But every time he talked to me about something, it was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like, what do we got to do? Yeah. Having a team of people, like with this nonprofit, it's, hey, I want to do this. I have no idea how we're going to do it or where we're going to get the funding, but we're going to make it happen. Yeah. And every single person is like, yeah, let's do it. So having the right people around you to facilitate a crazy idea is just as important as the idea.
Well, you probably got 5 psychopaths that own restaurants or that are entrepreneurs. So it's like,
and they are.
Yeah,
and so
that's basically what you do. It's like, I got this crazy idea. I'm going to open up a restaurant and go into debt. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. I know.
I'm in,
You're going to love it.
In,
Yeah.
The following podcast is a Pie to Pie production.
Every slice tells a story.
This episode is brought to you by Maestro Sausage, the only sausage we use at Hot Tongue. They produce sausages specifically with pizzerias in mind, and you can tell. So if your sausage isn't hitting all the right notes, let Maestro lead the way. Flat iron pepper. When you pop these peppers, you are going to know. You can smell it, you can feel it, you can taste it. They are liberating pizzerias from low quality pepper flakes. Stop finishing your pizza with crap. Head to flatironpepper.com and join the pepper flake revolution. Do that where you already did you try to leave Tony's multiple times?
I didn't try to leave multiple times.
I'm gonna do my own thing, Tony. Like, it's time for me to go out. And he's like, I'll give you $100,000 more, Laura. Stay.
Oh, you need more than that.
Yeah, I'll give you $1 more million, Laura.
No, there was an evolution to it. It wasn't, and at that first evolution of it, I didn't really think of it as I'm leaving. It was just, I need something different. I need to grow. Yeah. And so that was when I moved into the Pizza Rock executive chef role. Yeah. And so, but I was still doing the school. So, and helping oversee certain things. Yeah. So I was still in North Beach. I was still living there. But I was just the regional for Pizza Rock. So I was just doing shit ton of traveling. Yeah. And then when I got to a point where I was like, traveling's not my thing, at least as much as I was. Yeah. That's kind of when I was like, all right, what are we doing? And then of course the pandemic hit. Yeah. And then that threw everything into a tizzy. So
was it kind of enough pause for you to be like, all right, I think it's kind of, it's
the pandemic definitely afforded me the 2 weeks the initial 2 weeks that everyone was actually locked down for. I was like, this is the greatest vacation I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, of course.
This is great. Yeah. But then of course we all went back to work, even at a restricted level, but it still kind of gave me the, what am I doing? Yeah. I've done the executive chef role in every place. So what else is there for me? Yeah. I kind of was getting to a point where I just knew I needed to grow on my own. Yeah. And so I started the pop-up through the pandemic, and that was the test. And so, and then I started looking for locations on top of it and just kind of is this actually working? Yeah. Is this going to work? Yeah. And I looked all up and down. I looked for a solid year before finding this place, and landlords were terrible. Yeah. Rent was terrible. All of the landlords trying to recoup funds, or just, they were scared on top of it. Yeah. There was one restaurant that I looked at literally 3 blocks down from here. Same area, same great location, fully built out. I literally could have just made dough and opened the door. Yeah. But it just didn't make sense financially. And then when I found this place, it wasn't listed as for sale, for lease, for anything, but it was an asset sale. And I was like, well, you're selling your stuff, so where are you going? Yeah. And then when I started the conversation with him, that's when I think they were just seeing what was out there without actually having to say we're leaving. Yeah. But then once I got the conversation going, and the guy knew who I was, so we had met at Pizza Expo, I guess. Yeah. And so the conversation evolved, and it just, it's a corner location, great spot, enough seats, and I knew I could do it. Even though I wanted something small, I knew I could do it. Yeah. Because I've had been doing it.
Yeah.
So I did it.
And that was just like them like giving up their lease?
I don't know all of the details,
Yeah.
but I guess from what I could put together, I think the landlord was partners with the previous tenant.
Yeah, which happens sometimes.
To some degree. So I think they either let him out of the lease or they just dissolved it. I don't know. But
Are you cool with the landlord? Is that who you were talking to about the asset sale, or was the people in the space?
No, it was the actual guy in the space.
Yeah, okay.
And they didn't disappear altogether. They just downsized.
Yeah.
But I was talking to him specifically. Until it actually came into I'm putting out an LOI. I have intent. That's when I started to talk to the landlord. And the landlord's a very cool guy. He's older, but he owns property all over the place.
Yeah.
And it was great because he didn't really blink at the fact that I didn't have ownership under my belt.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Which can be tricky too when you're figuring that out, and it's like some people will just look at you and be like, "It's not going to happen."
I had more than one landlord.
Yeah, it's not gonna
they
happen.
didn't even want to talk to me. They didn't give a shit
Yeah.
about who I was or any experience.
Yeah.
They literally just said, "Show me your paperwork, show me your financials,"
Yeah.
and that was it. And they weren't going to take anything else into consideration, which I totally understand.
Yeah, it's a big risk on their part.
But I think with all of the things combined, especially with this guy he has other property, so it's not like this is his only thing.
Yeah.
And he's got multiple other tenants even in this building. So even though I feel like I am the anchor tenant, I think my space is the biggest out of everybody's. So I'm his anchor here, but he had to have looked into me at least a little bit.
Of course.
And then the other guy, having met him at Pizza Expo,
You're like, dude, just Google Laura Meyer and I think we'll be good.
I mean, a first-time owner, you're taking a risk on anybody.
100%.
Just because I've done it for someone else doesn't mean that I could pull it off for myself.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing. But I knew that I could do it.
Of course.
So.
Well, I guess like if I came into this spot and I'm looking for a spot, because I look at spots just to look at spots.
Yeah.
How much is it over here? How much is it in LA? What's going on in Arizona? Where should I move to get the fuck out of California?
I know. I feel like we're all in there right now.
But I would look at this space and be like, man, the things I could do here, I would fucking love to do it, but hell no. Like
it's a lot.
I thought that it was big, and then you're like, yeah, let's go down the elevator, and it's like this is. You could have an ice skating rink down there where like the walk-in is.
Yeah, it's 3 floors.
Yeah.
And I think square footage total, I think it's about 7,500. I think. So especially when people are like, "Oh, is this your first time?" And I go, "Yeah, it's my first time as an owner, and I have a 7,500 square foot restaurant." They're like, "Oh shit."
Yeah. Well,
but
did you have like, because you're doing kind of like this Focaccia pop-up, and the squares are obviously front and center here too.
Yeah.
I'd say. Was that always going to be the vibe? Like, but I want to stick to pizza, because then you have like some side dishes. You're doing a full pasta menu. Are you making your own gelato?
No.
Okay. All right.
No, I've learned
Is there a garden down there?
Yeah.
On the roof?
No, not yet.
Okay.
No, I've learned about the buy-in when it comes to gelato. I've got some friends who are fantastic gelato makers.
Yeah.
And there's an incredible gelateria literally down the street, and he's a great dude. And so I was like, you're down the street. Why not bring you in?
Yeah.
So no, I don't make my own gelato.
Okay.
But I mean, obviously with my experience from the past, knowing what works, what doesn't work, the size of the space, like the market next door that we opened, I knew that I wanted that before I even signed this for this restaurant. And because it was empty, it was down to the studs, there was no one in there. So in the lease, I had said I want first right of refusal on that space. They obviously that told them, well, why would we even look for someone else if she wants it, in a reasonable amount of time. And so after the first year went by, I knew, okay, let's get the ball rolling. And so I signed on for that one. It's been open about 3 months. So right around the 2-year mark is when that opened.
Yeah.
A little bit after that. So it's just kind of it all makes sense. At least in my head it does.
Yes. Well, yeah. Well.
Especially with the students nearby, the university, like there's so much growth potential here.
Of course.
And with Cal football and, just like there's so many different facets.
Was it busy right away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely.
Not to like, you weren't scared shitless, like, I've made a terrible mistake.
Well, I wasn't, because I had gone through the whole, line down the block, and it's just slam dam as soon as you open the door.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't stop. Like, I've come from that experience, so I knew what I was getting into. The rest of the staff, maybe not.
Yeah.
But they've learned, and, I've adjusted the hours as well to accommodate the neighborhood and accommodate the area, because even though we are next to a college, and even though it is a downtown space, there is a seasonality to it.
Yeah.
Which is actually reversed from most people's seasonality, because it mimics the students.
Yeah.
So with some adjustments, I feel like we're doing well.
Yeah.
So
well enough to expand into like a little slice market, like deli situation.
Yeah.
I feel like that I've seen this happening more and more, where people are getting spaces and like still doing a pizza concept, but it's more to go friendly. And there's like maybe one or two items you can't get within that. And it's like more specific and dialed in. And like, to me, that seems like such a safer way to expand. And it's like, you can kind of do creative things over here and then do something different over here. And it's still the same brand, but
totally. Well, and that was the thing. It's got a different name to it.
Of course.
But the brands are linked under the same umbrella, and you can obviously, the look of it kind of, it flows.
Yeah.
But I'm not ready to open a physical second location that I actually have to split my time between.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not ready for that. I don't think the restaurant is ready for that. So it makes sense to grow that way.
Yeah.
And because of how big it is, like, I'm not bored yet. I'm not bored.
If you told me you were bored, I'd be like, you truly are a psychopath.
But I'm not bored yet.
Yeah.
So I'm not ready to expand into a physical place that requires me to split my time.
Yeah.
So, and I wouldn't want to do that without having the right infrastructure or even just figuring that out.
Yeah.
So that made the most sense for me. It was the logical growth.
Uh-huh.
And it's the same building, same landlord, same everything.
You're walking through a doorway.
Yeah, I put the door
It's all
in.
connected, yeah.
But it makes sense. It made sense for me.
How many employees do you have?
25.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. That's actually a pretty small staff for like how big like it is.
Yeah, we keep it pretty tight. We're only open 5 days a week.
Yeah.
We close in the middle of the day, 3 out of those 5. Like, it does not need, if you do it right and you have people in the right place, it doesn't need 50 million people, especially because I am also still here.
Yeah.
Whenever I get to that point where I'm ready to not be here full time, that might change. But for now, while I am, it doesn't need it.
So that was going to be my next question. So you're here 5 days a week?
Yeah, I'm still here 5 days a week.
Okay.
But at the same time, like today I get off at 5, like I can take days off.
Yeah.
Obviously I do other things. I travel.
Yeah.
So I compete still.
Yeah.
So I still have the ability to do other things, and I have other people in place to be able to fill in when I'm not there.
So do you have a hierarchy here with GM or any of that
so
stuff?
I don't, yes and no. So it doesn't.
It sounds like you're the GM.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've got other management in place.
Yeah.
And there is a hierarchy, but it doesn't follow a super traditional structure.
Yeah.
So because I am here, like, yes, I kind of facilitate a lot of the management duties, but I do have a kitchen. The kitchen is where the most is, because there's a kitchen manager and then underneath that. So obviously he reports to me, but he manages the structure in the kitchen, which allows me to do more of the front of house stuff when needed. But I also have like shift leads and stuff like that.
Got it.
Who, one does the market, one does the restaurant. They close, they open. I have key holders.
Got it.
So I don't need to be here every minute of the day.
Are you doing scheduling?
I do. Back of the house is pretty much all of a set schedule.
Yeah.
And the front of house, because we're a 5-a-day-a-week nature, most everyone works a set schedule unless there's like a request off or a call out or something like that. But most everyone works a set schedule. So scheduling is actually very easy.
And so say you got to go to Vegas for a week for Expo. Does anything have to be adjusted or?
Not a ton.
Okay.
Usually I might put like an extra person on, especially if it's a weekend.
Yeah.
Just in case, so they're not drowning.
Yeah.
If it gets crazy busy, but honestly, it doesn't require that much adjustment. I've got a really good crew. It took a long time to put the right crew together.
Yeah.
Especially for the nature of what this is.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're all solid.
Do you find it as crazy as I do that we put the best ingredients in our pizza, our dough, our cheese, toppings, fresh produce, and then we put pencil shavings on our tables called red chili flakes? What is a red chili flake? We found out about Flatiron premium pepper flakes from a customer who actually brought us some. We were putting it on every slice we ate. It was gold. We were like searching for it like addicts in the back, just like, ooh, where's the Flatiron? Where's the Flatiron? There is no going back. When you pop these peppers, you are gonna know. You can smell it, you can feel it, you can taste it. The 4-pepper blend, which is actually the blend we have on every table at Hot Tongue, definitely has a higher heat level, and I'm a heat guy, if you know what I'm saying. It has the arbol, the jalapeno, the ghost, and the habanero. Spicy. They are liberating pizzerias from low quality pepper flakes. Flatiron pepper, you are going to know the difference. In here, real peppers from Italy. Let's go. Head to flatironpepper.com right now. Use the code pie to pie at checkout. That's pie, number 2, pie at checkout. And any order over $25 is going to get you a bottle free of the sweet heat. Put that sweet heat in your cart, and any order over $25, that baby's gonna be free. Do not miss this chance to upgrade your pepper game. Head to flatironpepper.com right now and join the Pepper Flake revolution. Did you have like a lot of, just with your background in the Bay, did you have like a staff that you could have put together with people that you knew, or was this like all brand new people?
The beginning was kind of a combination of people that I had worked with in the past, and new. So there was definitely a combination of people. Right now, I only have one in the kitchen from my past.
Yeah.
Everyone else is new.
Yeah.
But the cool thing, the thing that I love is that it is different from San Francisco out here. The clientele is different, but also the workforce is different.
Yeah. How?
And well, it's very young out here. Like, I don't have a lot of the older career restaurant people who've been doing it for 20 years that you see a lot in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So yes, there is turnover in that regard, but the thing that I love about it is the youth vibe to it. You know, that was one thing that attracted me to this space was I knew I was going to have a new incoming freshman class every year.
Yeah.
There was going to be 20,000 new kids every year.
Do you get a lot of those like younger,
Well, the high school is 2 blocks away
Okay.
as well. So we do get a lot of the young kids, not for like applying to work,
But
because
eating.
most people can't, you know, work permits aren't exactly fun.
Yeah, of course.
But we do see we do see a vast amount of college students. They're really easy to point out because they've got the like freshly washed, unwashed sweatshirts, that they've just bought at the bookstore.
They got at the store, student store.
Yeah, everyone walks in wearing the same Cal sweatshirt, so they're pretty easy to point out. Yeah.
What is it? Full table service here?
Yes. Yeah. I like it because it's fancier than your average pizzeria in the sense that it's full service. You have a full bar, you have a server, you know, the whole thing. There's a host, but it's still a pizzeria. Yeah. So we still get kids throwing shit everywhere.
It's got it's got a nice vibe like that though, like where it's like this is going to be an elevated experience, but like there might be a kid running around here.
Yeah. I feel like it straddles the line, which is what I was hoping for. It was the goal was I wanted something that wasn't just kids. It's trashed, it's loud, it's dirty. You know, like I didn't want that, but I also didn't want it to be so fine dining where it wasn't going to allow me to play and have kids around. So
yeah, I mean, I think I don't know what interview you've probably said it multiple times because everyone should be saying this, but you said pizza's like, you know, if you're supposed to be having fun, and if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right.
Yeah,
I feel like in a snooty environment, you kind of lose a little bit of that fun that pizza's supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the high-end pizzerias that are out there and the people who are really dialed in, and you know, I think we all aspire to be like that in certain ways. But for me, pizza should still be fun. We're still eating with our hands. You're still sharing. You know, it's meant to be a communal thing. And, you know, I know that some of the employees might not love having kids screaming incessantly. Obviously, I don't think anybody
My employees fucking
loves
hate it.
I mean, who
they
loves?
They don't. Listen, if anyone's listening, don't bring your kids to Hot Tongue because my employees hate them.
I mean, I don't think anybody does. And the hard part about this place is there's no server stations.
Yeah.
So there's nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
So when you get a screaming kid or a family or just,
I know we have an open kitchen. It's like just don't look, don't
there's
stare.
There's nowhere to hide. So if you want to vent or talk shit, like please go downstairs.
Yeah.
Because there's nowhere to hide.
I have a 5-year-old, and my perspective obviously changed. I was that guy who was like, oh God, I'm on a flight and a fucking kid, and now I'm the person that's like, somebody's like, can you get, like, if somebody would be like, can you get your kid to stop screaming? I'd be like, what the fuck did you just say to that person?
What'd you just say?
What'd you just say? Like,
but
not having that, I get it, but kids tear restaurants apart. We have kids that like get up on our counter, and they're fucking running up and down it, and it's crazy.
Well,
and it's hard to ask a parent, hey,
can you please?
Yeah, can you curb your child?
Wrangle the child. Yeah, and it's the hard part of kids, but I feel like because the service here is full service, most parents kind of get like, okay, like we can't let them completely run rampant.
Yes.
But that's also the beauty of the mezzanine, is that
put the kids up here.
We can kind of just put all the families up top.
Smart.
And they can't run away, and it like wrangles them.
Just put a gate right there.
Handprints and like sticky fingers everywhere, but everything can get wiped down. So
that's the one thing I'm not trying to teach my child anything other than like don't put your hands on glass.
It's
if
hard.
I could teach my son anything, it's that. Do whatever you want. Outside of that,
Yeah, there's the glass here. There's literally handprints every night.
Yeah.
And noses.
It's always
you can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good look though. It means it's being used.
Yeah, and on top of it,
used.
when you get in with the families, I mean,
they're the best clientele, dude.
They really are. I mean, I know there's a lot of people who say they hate kids, and oh God, I have to serve pepperoni, and I'm like, no offense, but you're gonna make your rent off of pepperoni and cheese.
Yeah, pays the bills.
So, you got bills to pay. Do the high end stuff, do all the creative stuff, but families are the ones who are going to be your repeat customers.
It's true, and then those people grow up and have families. It's like if you want to be a lifelong community member.
If you make that memory, if you can make them, if you can convert them over to you, you have them for a lifetime.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Also, you're like somebody's memory of like what they grew up eating, which is also really special too.
Yeah. Well, when I first was opening and I finally decided like, this is what I'm going to do. In my mind, I've always thought the coolest thing was to finally know that someone somewhere is having a conversation of, hey, what are we going to have for dinner tonight? Oh, let's go to Laura's.
Yeah.
Like that to me was like the coolest thing, that like other people were like, let's go to Laura's. Like, that means something to me. So
I think those are like little small nuances that you forget as a business owner about like how cool that shit is. I was talking
100%.
early about just like how cool it is when somebody comes in for a birthday or like a wedding anniversary or whatever. And it's like, oh, that's really nice. But it's like to take a moment and stop and be like, wow, that person wanted to have the memory here doing it here. That's a big deal.
Yeah. That they were going to celebrate a life event with you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
This place feels kind of Italian to me.
Does it?
Not like just because you're like serving Italian food, but like the mezzanine, like how it kind of goes up, the levels, the colors.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I know you've been to Italy multiple times.
Yeah.
You're a world champion.
Well, I'm not Italian at all.
I know, but which is great, which I love.
If I just don't say anything, people just.
What are you? Can I ask that?
That's fine. It's a very American thing to say.
What are you? What are you?
My mother's family is 100% Mexican.
Okay.
And my father is a mutt, but predominantly German.
Okay.
And then Irish, English.
Everything.
He's
everything but
a
Italian.
European mix.
Everything
a European
but Italian.
Mix. Yeah. So, but then I went to college. I make pizza.
Yeah.
I've studied in Italy. It all just, my name is Laura.
Pizzeria
I have
Laura.
brown hair and
It's
brown
pretty
eyes.
perfect.
So if I just don't say anything, everyone just assumes.
They do probably, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking that you'd been there so many times.
Well, I mean, it definitely has made an impression on me.
Yeah.
And I studied history in college. And so to me, and I like the food history, the cultural history. I'm not like a facts. I don't care what the war figures are of anything.
Yeah.
Like, to me, I like what makes people tick.
Yeah.
And food, a lot of the times, is what makes people tick.
Oh, of course.
And so for me, it's all about food and culture and how they kind of interplay. Obviously, that touches on politics and finances and, you know, all the other greater things.
Yeah.
But for me, it's always been about the depth of the history and the culture. And for me, and also just having lived there, you know, when you're brought into someone's house and
you lived in Italy?
I studied abroad there, so I was there for a year.
Dude, you are Italian. I think that makes you Italian, actually.
I feel like I'm an honorary Italian. That's
Yeah.
what I like to tell people.
Yeah.
I mean, I might not have the blood, but
it's in there.
I've got the blood, sweat, and tears
That's
put into it.
Dude, I like that.
But yeah, so for me, the Italian culture has always been very open and giving to me. So, and I love the history and the culture and the respect that is given, especially to this industry. So I do love the Italian culture, but I'm not Italian. I didn't grow up Italian. I didn't grow up with it.
Yeah.
So obviously I wanted something that was going to say, yes, this is in essence an Italian pizzeria, but I have influence from other things.
Yeah.
It afforded me the ability, with the way that it looks, the decoration, I actually tried to pull more from the Art Deco that is the building.
Yeah. You get that too, for sure.
So I wanted to pull that inside. So you see a lot of the repeating elements that are on the outside of the building, on the inside, especially in like the logo, the bar, that scalloping. And I knew I didn't want, obviously, the quintessential red checkerboard, you know, the scream that is Italian.
Yeah,
or
I
at
feel
least
like that's almost like the
cliche.
American Italian.
Yeah, it's definitely
like
the cliche American Italian, but I didn't want any of that. I wanted something that was going to still have an identity, but allow me to change things if I wanted. Like, yes, we're making pizza, but today it's going to be a different ethnicity inspired by, you know, whether it was Mexican flavors, Latin American flavors, or just from any other part of the world.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to get boxed in too hard. It needed an identity. It had to, but not something that was so entrenched in one culture that it wasn't going to allow me to do something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like whatever it's called, however it looks,
Yeah.
the great thing about pizza is
it can be anything.
It can be anything.
Yeah,
Like the
for sure.
Italian people are crazy. They put hot dogs and shit on their pizza.
I know, they
like,
give us crap for certain
they do
things, and I'm like,
weirder
you
shit
put
than what I've
French
seen.
fries on pizza.
Which I fuck with. Like, that
Hell yeah.
sounds great.
And the versatile is not that bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure you have talked your face off about this before, but I'm going to ask some questions because I'm curious.
Okay.
And I just talked to Leah, and I've never been to Parma. I've never done the Caputo Cup. I love competing. I think
Hell yeah.
I was telling her, I was like, Vegas ain't doing it for me anymore. I need
Yeah,
the
you
harder
gotta- you
shit.
gotta go abroad.
I need the harder
Yeah.
stuff. I want to compete
love
with the
it.
real deals.
Yeah.
But she said that like Parma's fucking crazy. Like people are like sprinkling yeast in people's dough
Yeah.
and like
It's fun. As Parma and Naples are very different. It's like two different groups of people, right? Because Naples is, for one, it's specific to what style do you want to be known as the best at. If you want to be a Neapolitan pizza maker, I make traditional Neapolitan pizza, you're not going to Parma. Like, yes, they have a Neapolitan competition. They abide by APN or VPN standards. But if you win that category in Parma and then go to Naples and try and tote that, they're going to go, who the hell are you? You ain't got shit on us.
Yeah.
So you go to Naples for that.
Okay.
You know, granted, Naples also has other categories, but it's regional. Just like here, pizza is regional.
Yeah.
To them, it's the same. So in the north, you're looking at more of like the Classica and Pan, I would say.
Yeah.
You also get a lot of the Roman as well, but Naples also has that. So I would say Parma, the biggest categories, and you always know because what are the ones that they announce last at the awards? Those are always like the finale ones. So it's always the Pan and Classic. And if you've only ever competed in Vegas, Parma's got nothing on this place because I'm sorry, Vegas doesn't have anything on Parma. Yeah, it just, for one, it's like 10 times the size.
Like that, she said like 900 people.
Yeah. So usually the classic category is the biggest one, and that can have anywhere between 500 and 600 people.
Yeah.
Just in that one category.
Yeah.
In total, in the competition, for one, you can compete in multiple categories, regardless of whether you're in Naples or Parma. In Italy, you can compete in more than one category. But usually the Pan and some of the smaller ones, those are still around 100 people.
Yeah.
And then the other categories will fluctuate. So all in all, in terms of total competitors, yeah, it can be upwards of 750, 800 plus people. Usually it's anywhere between 20 and 25 different countries present, which is also another really cool aspect because you see everyone does things a little bit differently. The judging is also different just because now you're pulling from multiple countries.
Yeah.
People fly in for this. They obviously just transportation is easier. So there's a lot of judges from the surrounding countries. The French have a big influence, the Germans, there's people from everywhere.
Yeah.
So this is the competition is
it's insane.
It's insane.
Intense. It's real deal.
Yeah. I mean, it's like if you were to go to Pizza Expo, but just go to compete. It's just a lineup of ovens. That's literally all they're there for. That's the main focus of the competition is just compete, and that's it.
Do they really hate Americans?
I think it's changing. I don't think they hate us anymore, but I don't think they absolutely love us.
Okay.
But I think that they are learning to give us space because we do win.
Yeah.
We aren't just there to be a fly on the wall. Like, we do actually win. We do well.
I thought like maybe they were mad because like we surpassed them in better pizza or something.
Well, depending on who you ask, obviously most people are probably gonna say, at least Italians are gonna say no.
If your sausage needs aren't hitting all the right notes, then let Maestro lead the way. Maestro has been working closely with pizzerias for decades. They produce sausages designed specifically with pizzerias in mind. And you can tell, their Italian sausage crumbles look like they were handmade in your shop, and they will taste that way as well. With over 80 years in business, family owned and operated, the family is incredible, and so is their product. It's quality sausage with quality ingredients. Click the link in the show notes. A classical masterpiece awaits you. Back to the show. But they know.
And the one thing that I always get is it happens almost every time when I compete because I can speak Italian. My name is Laura and I make pizza. And usually
you're Italian.
And usually you're just wearing like the competition t-shirt. Yeah. Because that's the other thing is in
That's
Italy,
how you won in 2013, dude.
Well, in Italy, when you compete, you have to, like, it's not blind.
Yeah,
nothing is blind.
Do you have to have a translator?
You either have to be able to speak or you have to have a translator.
Yeah.
So I know from my perspective, it's better if I can speak because it's just better.
Yeah.
But I can tell you multiple times out of all the times I've competed, more times than not, I will get through the entire process. I will have cooked, I've talked, I've given them the slice, they've done the tasting, they've done the thank yous, be on your way. I have literally taken everything away, and then it's, can you ask her to come back? And I just know exactly what they're going to ask me, and they go, are you American? And it's like, God damn it.
Damn, they ask that question?
Yeah, they do. And the fact that they even bother to ask means that it means something to them.
Yeah.
And to them, it might not be like
seems like a weird question for a judge to ask.
And it might not be like now she's last, we hate Americans. Like, I'm not saying that. That's probably not what it is, but it factors into their head in some way.
Yeah.
And the fact that I've had it multiple times means that it still matters.
Uh-huh.
So, but like I've won, I've placed, so it's not like it's for sure you're going to do terribly.
Yeah.
But it still matters.
Well, you won number one.
I did.
You got first place is it a pan?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pan division.
I didn't know if they had different kinds of pans, but that is a big deal.
Yeah.
Even TG himself had never done that. No American had ever done that.
I had beat him to the punch. Yeah. He won for the pizza on the peel, so like the Roman.
Yeah.
But 3 years later. So I had beaten him to the punch.
I mean, what does that do? What does that do for your confidence? You know, did you ride high? I mean, because there's I've won competitions in like when there's 15 people competing. I've placed at a good number in a category with 90 people, and it feels nice, but it kind of washes away. But I think if I went international, dude, I was getting like a hit of the good stuff. I mean, getting first in Italy. I mean, or were you kind of like just another trophy?
Well, 2013, it was my second time competing, period, and my first time competing abroad. The first time I had ever competed was literally 2 weeks prior at Pizza Expo. And then we're going to Italy. Yeah. So I had very little experience, very little of expectations of what am I walking into. I had experienced a competition years prior, having visited one just as a spectator, but at the time, I was 24 years old. I was new to this element of pizzerias and pizza. So I didn't really understand the significance of it at the time. I didn't really have the full understanding of like, people come here all their lives and never win. Yeah. And you did it your first time out. Yeah. Like I didn't really understand the significance of it at the time, but I do now. Yeah. And I think it took me a number of years for one to really kind of sit with it. But for multiple reasons. I mean, in the beginning, it was also like, did I really win this? Was it for other reasons? And also, like, did I actually deserve this? Is it a fluke?
Is it imposter syndrome?
There was a lot of things. Yeah. I mean, I was 24 years old. I mean, like I had been at Tony's for, I think, a year and a half at that point. Like it was all so new that it was kind of like, was I really good enough to win an international competition the first time out? And just all of the things, because you meet these people and you're like, you're literally my grandpa and you've been competing here all your life. Yeah. And so there's just a lot of factors into it. But then the next year I had one at Vegas, and then in 2019 I had one in Naples. And so it was one of those things where every time I had done it, and not even just the ones that I had.
You got the triple crown?
Woo! And not even just the ones that I had won. Yeah. You know, there's also other ones in there where I've placed. Yeah. And, you know, and like I'm on the podium somehow. I wasn't a first place finisher. Yeah. And so for me, it was also just having experience with Tony and the school and meeting other people. It was like, okay, the knowledge base here, mine is still very limited, but yet I'm winning. So obviously there's something to it. Mm-hmm. But there's still so much more that I need to know. Yeah. And so, but as time has worn on, it was like, okay, no, I actually know what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm actually really good at this. Yeah. I'm not a first place finisher every single time. Yeah. I mean, obviously there's more that I've lost than I've won, but like I'm a competitor. Yeah. So.
Yeah. How important do you think confidence though is in opening up your own business and taking leaps and taking risks? That's why I asked, like, did it help you at a young age? Because sometimes,
for sure.
Sometimes I think validation is something that like we all strive for as business owners, and like unfortunately we look to the public for that a lot of the time. Even though you could be making the greatest pizza ever, it might not mean you're the busiest restaurant out there
or the best business person.
But I mean, having confidence in backing yourself, I always say, is like one of the most important things, but like sometimes it's a hard thing to do.
Well, one of the things that I learned I've always been a super competitive person. I've done sports all my life. And I'm also the little sister to two older brothers who are military. My whole family's military. So I feel like competition has been my entire life. Yeah. In a good way, but I love competition in any shape it takes. And so for me, I love the competitive part because it's a pushing, but I've also learned at a pretty young age to get, and I say it all the time, but it's very much something that I believe in, is that you need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable and being able to sit with your anxiety and with the unsurety and all the doubts in your head and not let it cripple you. Yeah. And so I feel like I learned at a very young age how to push beyond the uncomfortable. Yeah. And not focus on the doubt and like the naysayers and, you know, the Yelp reviews and all that other shit. Yeah. So for me, I learned that at a young age where I feel like a lot of people don't.
Yeah, well, it's important to learn it young because it's harder to learn it when you're older.
Yeah, it's hard when you're set in your ways to learn that. And so I'm grateful that I did learn that. And it's something that I've learned like, oh, this actually applies to more than just sports. This isn't just getting comfortable with I'm tired and I need to keep pushing. It comes with am I doing this right? There's so many factors to a business. And so it's something that I try and tell people. But yeah, pizza competitions as well. Like it's pushing you into outside of your normal box and into a different playing field. Yeah. And especially when you do it abroad, it's one thing to go to Vegas, especially for us as Californians, but to literally take everything into 4 other time zones and figure out how to do it. And I can tell you, the first competition I did, I showed up with a can of tomatoes, 7-Eleven tomatoes. I had the physical pan I needed and a bag of flour, and that was it. And I remember showing up and Tony being like, "That's all you brought?" Like, what? Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what do you mean that's all I brought? That's all I need, right? And I had to source every single thing from there.
Yeah.
I even had to source the container for, I flew in on a Sunday, everything's closed, and everyone laughs about it now and it's a great story to tell, but, I had to use the trash can in my hotel room.
Yeah.
Because everything's closed on a Sunday, the hours and all that stuff. And, there's pictures of Tony scrubbing a trash can in a hotel shower, and me and Jeff Smokovich, and we're all trading this trash can around trying to figure out, is it clean enough
to make dough?
I mean, I got screamed at by the room service because I got my starter on the carpet and on the curtains and everywhere. And, I've had the fire department called on the hotel because I've set fire alarms off. It just, you got to learn how to do it. So there's an art to competing. There's a different mindset to competing.
Yeah.
It's not the same as when you do it in-house.
Yeah.
So I feel like you evolve as a business owner that way. You learn how to adapt faster.
Well, yeah, because it's very uncomfortable. You're pushing yourself into a situation you would never be in the 4 walls of your restaurant.
Yeah. And for me, I've learned it's not always about the decision itself. It's about making the decision. Sometimes you just need to make the decision. And sometimes what's holding you back is the fear of, am I making the right choice? When in actuality, you just need to make the choice and move forward.
Yeah.
Because it will figure itself out as you go.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times people are just scared because they obviously have the responsibility. But sometimes it's just make the decision and keep going.
Yeah. Adaptability.
So you have to adapt.
It's possibly
the hardest thing to learn.
The thing that makes you live or die in this industry.
Exactly. And it's just make a choice.
Yeah.
Just make a decision and figure it out. And if you have to redo it all tomorrow, that's fine. But that's tomorrow's problem.
Yeah.
You have to figure out what's right now.
Yeah.
What can you do in this one moment?
Let's fix today.
Yeah.
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 Just dropping bombs right now, dude. Woo, 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 woo. I'll be here all night. I saw the bar coming in here. Was there a liquor license here?
We have a full liquor license. Yeah.
Was it here before?
There was only a beer and wine.
Was that a pain in the ass in San Francisco?
Well, I'm in Berkeley.
So sorry.
It's like 1,000,000 times cheaper, thank God.
That's great.
When I bought it all in with like lawyers and all that stuff, it probably cost me around $48.
Oh man, that's a steal.
Yeah, I was like, I'll take 3. Because comparatively to San Francisco is 3 figures. It's a quarter
It's like
mil.
150,000 I've seen licenses in Los Angeles go for close to 250,000.
Same thing in San Francisco. Yeah. And there's also in San Francisco, because the neighborhoods are so tight and they're based on population, they're just spoken for. It's like you literally have to wait for someone to close to get one.
Yeah.
And so here, and even today, I still get text messages of, hey, this license is open, this license is free, and all that. So when I opened here, I was like, hell yeah, I'm taking a full liquor license.
Yeah. I don't know if it was like an Instagram clip or if it was from an iDrift podcast or something, but I think you talked about like the importance of the bar program, or I think you were talking about that, but like, was that something that was really important to you? When you wanted to open up, was that a vision of having a full bar? Because I think having a cocktail menu also is kind of like helps elevate the food.
True,
too.
Totally. I mean, it wasn't
or the
like
idea.
It wasn't a deal breaker for me, but I knew a lot of it was going to be dependent on the space. For this size of a space to only be serving beer and wine, you're missing out.
Yeah.
And then doing the math on it all, especially when the liquor license was only going to be a difference of maybe $10,000.
Yeah.
That was going to pay for itself in a matter of months.
Yeah.
And so with knowing the margins and all that stuff, it just made sense to offer cocktails. Do I sell a ton of alcohol? No, but it's still better to have than to have not in this case. And so, and then with the market, we were able to extend it because the spaces are connected. It extends. Nice. Yeah. So again, I didn't have to buy a new liquor license. I just had to expand the current one I have.
Yeah.
So I can sell to go.
Oh, rad. And I can sell like a liquor store.
Pretty much. And
you own a liquor store now.
And there's a crossover. So I was able to do it so that way, like, there's a bigger, bottle list over there, but you can purchase off that bottle list in the restaurant. So it moves product a lot faster and it allows me more versatility. And, it makes sense with the two things. But the full liquor license was a no-brainer for this spot. Yeah. For sure.
Did you have somebody help you with that drink menu? Do you hire somebody to do your drink program?
Well, when I first opened this restaurant, I knew when I even just made the decision, all right, I'm going to go for it, I knew I was going to need help. Like, I knew how to run a kitchen. I knew how to build a kitchen. I know how to make kitchens go. Like, that's no problem. But I didn't have as much experience as like a GM. So I didn't have as much of the knowledge when it came to the financial side of things. So I knew, I'm going to need some help with this. So I sought out the smartest people I could find, which thankfully I was introduced to this group. They're called New Deal Hospitality, but they are pretty much restaurant consultants, and they come from more of the fine dining world. Yeah. But the people who make up that company are like some of the smartest people in their like sectors of hospitality. Got it. And so they were the ones that helped me. For one, they told me exactly, you need to file for this first, this second, this third, this fourth. You need this, and this. And so I was able to expedite all of the paperwork, all of the permits, everything I needed, and not make one mistake. And so it got me to the finish line of opening a lot faster. Yeah. And then in addition, they had a sommelier, they had a mixologist, they had all of these people that were just built in. And so it was, I could just pretty much pick and choose. I want help on this. I want help on this. No, I don't need you for the kitchen. I don't need you for the food, all that stuff, but to focus on this. And they weren't cheap, but they were worth every penny. Yeah. And it got me to a point on opening day where all my systems were in place. Yeah, we needed some tweaks to fine tune it to this concept in this space. We're not super fine dining, but they gave me every single thing I was going to need to open a space and do it right from the get-go. Yeah. And I don't regret it whatsoever.
I think that's something that gets missed sometimes that we maybe don't talk about enough on this podcast is outward help like that. We talk about equipment a lot and like processes.
I'm not
and
ashamed
policies.
to say it.
Yeah,
I'm
but like
not the smartest person in the room always.
Well,
so
not most of the time, but not always. But people talk to me about permits and because I've done a full build out and like they want to know stuff, and it's like I say like get an expediter, get an architect, get a consultant, get a GC consultant. Yes. Like use these people because it's going to be a lot of money up front, but
it's worth it on the back end.
On the back end, you're going to save so much money and mostly time. And I like time.
Yeah, well, time is worth something. Yeah. It might not have a dollar associated to it, but your time is worth everything. Yeah. And so knowing what to devote your actual time to is huge. Yeah. And so for me in the beginning, I knew, yes, I need your help. And they're still good friends to this day. They promote me just as much as I promote them. And, so there's a duplicitous relationship there, because it's not, when you work with people, it's not just about the initial transaction of, trading money for a service, but there's a longevity to it, especially when it comes to hospitality. I mean, we're in a business of people. Like, yes, we sell food, but ultimately we're in the business of people. And so when you make good connections with contractors, expediters, contractors, these are people that will work with you over a lifetime. Yeah. Especially as you grow. And so, don't regret it. Don't regret it at all.
So do you have like at night, is there a full-time bartender?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just making Aperol spritzes. Like, oh.
I know. There's a million of them.
Uh-huh.
We've had to, well, my favorite drink is a Negroni. So obviously like the Negroni kind of takes, primary spot on the list. But honestly.
You do limoncello at the end of every dinner?
No.
Oh.
But we do have an Amaro list. And so.
Love Amaro.
Yeah. But yeah, we have full-time bartenders. It's different here because it's not, I would say it's hard for the bartender, to be honest, in the sense that it's not a crazy bar itself. Like, yes, there are 8 seats, and yes, we do fill up, but it's not every minute of the day.
Yeah.
So it can be a little boring for the bartender at times. I'm not going to lie. But so our bartenders are also servers. So when they need to be a bartender, they are a bartender.
Yeah.
But on the slower days, on the slower times, for instance, like lunch, lunch
they can double up.
They double up.
Yeah.
It also just means more money for them.
Yeah, of course. That
they're not
nice.
splitting it between extra people. So it works out.
Not to on purpose go back to confidence, but
That's
I mean,
okay.
you have 2 decades of working with or on restaurants with that Tony was involved in, right?
Yes.
Was it 2 decades in pizza, whether it was Pizza
Almost.
Rock?
Almost 2 decades,
okay.
but yes.
Well, they say 2 decades in every article I read. So
Well,
2 decades under her belt.
We round up.
Okay, I like that. I always round up. You must have had more confidence because if you've done everything, if you're teaching, if you're, I mean, like I said the same thing about with Leah. It's like when you go out to Expo and you're teaching a class about squares, or you're competing, or you're doing every single job in a restaurant. Maybe that's why you could look at a space like this and be like, no problem.
I got it.
But through all of those jobs,
Yeah.
through teaching at the school, through being at Expo, all these things, what was the hardest thing for you to learn, or what was the biggest hurdle you had to jump over in those almost 20 years?
It's hard to pinpoint one specific thing that was a struggle, and
Yeah.
I don't mean that to be ego, but it's
I was good at them all right away. Next question, please.
No, but it's an evolution, and I'm not always the loudest person in the room, and I'm not normally the first person to talk, but I've learned the power of observation.
Yeah.
And I feel like that has served me really well through my tenure with Tony, because there's more to him than just the pizza maker and just the businessman. Watching him over the years in terms of how do you carry yourself when you walk into a room, when the camera turns on, when the lights turn on, when you're in front of a teaching component, whether it's a giant room filled with 200 people or it's an intimate class with 5, the way that you interact with people, you joke with people, there's an importance to that, and it carries over into all of these aspects. And I feel like a lot of that confidence comes from understanding that, the way you carry yourself and the way you enter a room, it doesn't always mean that I'm the loudest.
Yeah.
But, when I walk into a room and I'm watching you for a certain amount of time, it means that I'm learning a lot of things, so that when I am at the front of the room, I know exactly what I'm doing or saying, or how to carry myself, how to approach the topic, how to negotiate, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
It's like I've done my homework, so I understand what I'm walking into.
Yeah.
And so it's easier for me to have that confidence, but because I'm someone who likes to I want to know all the information. I'm a logistical person. I work really well off of that. So I want to I'm going to do the research. I'm going to do my homework. Whether it means about learning about who someone is and their background, or it's like an interview, when you're going to interview an employee, do we just look at a resume anymore? No.
It's a vibe.
Yeah, it's not.
And a resume.
And it's also your social media. It's also what comes up on Google.
Yeah.
It's also, it's all of these
a
things.
lot of things.
So I feel like that has served me really well in terms of my confidence, because I've learned a lot of other things, not just the physical. I know science. I know how to make a pizza.
Yeah.
I know how to run a restaurant, systems. There's more to it than just the physicality of certain things. So I've learned that, which has helped with my confidence. I feel like I tell other people this on occasion when they ask me that is, especially when you're going back and forth and it's like, who's trying to be top dog? And it's like, most of the time I feel like the person who holds the power says the least.
Yeah.
And so, and a lot of the times when, especially in the pizza world, I've noticed is that usually the people who hold the most power tend to speak the least. Mm-hmm. And so because they're observing and they're absorbing and, all these other things, and they're also just not giving their time to something that doesn't require it. So that has helped my confidence a lot. Yeah. But honestly, when I opened the restaurant, I still say it, but a lot of the times I'm like, who put me in charge? There are times where I go, wait, I'm the one in charge. I'm the one that has to make the decision. I'm like, like we're doomed, because I still think of myself as like I'm a 20-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Like I'm still learning. I'm still having fun. I still want to go out at night. I want to do all those things. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm the owner.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't even know if I answered your question.
I think you did. Do you, are you good with communication?
I would like to think so.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's a better question for my employees.
All right, let's get them up here.
But yeah, I think I'm a good teacher.
Yeah.
And so I feel like my communication is good. And also understanding that communication for everyone looks different. Mm-hmm. And so I also speak, my Spanish is getting better, but I also speak Spanish. And so being able to kind of flip flop between languages and personalities, age groups, all that stuff, and being able to like convey a message. Yeah. I think so.
So you speak Italian, English, and Spanish?
Yeah, but I wouldn't really call myself a polyglot just because I am not fluent in Italian. Okay. I wouldn't consider myself fluent in Italian. I wouldn't consider myself fluent in Spanish, but
enough to explain your pizza.
But I can get a lot across.
Okay.
I can survive just fine in either place.
Yeah. Women in pizza is a thing that you guys have been a part of, but is this a different thing?
It is.
Completely different.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. Women in Pizza started it all, and not necessarily started it all, but it gave us a foundation and it gave us, structure, and they do a phenomenal job. But I always want to do more. And I knew that what I wanted to give back to the community and give back to the pizza world meant that it needed to come from me and a group of individuals, as opposed to coming from just companies. Whether it was, I knew that it was going to need to come from an unbiased source to allow more freedom. Right? Because if I don't have any ties to any one thing, it means that there's room in the conversation for everyone.
Yeah.
Granted, obviously you're balancing politics and you're balancing business and you're balancing all of these other things, but at the core, I'm Laura Meyer, I own Pizzeria to Laura, and I'm a pizza maker.
Yeah.
Like this is so it means that when I want to have a conversation about any one product or any one thing, it means I can incorporate anybody.
Yeah.
Anyone can come to the table and talk.
Yeah.
And so I knew that I wanted to give something back to the community in the form of education that was going to allow for the full spectrum, that was going to allow for unfiltered. And so we created Forked Future. And so obviously I had the idea and was like, who am I going to call? And so I called 5 other people and was like, hey, do you want to do this? And they all said yes. And so Forked Future was born. It's brand new, but we put together a conference in collaboration with the Bread Lab up in Northern Washington.
Yeah.
And so this conference is, yes, specifically geared for pizza, but ultimately the nonprofit is actually bigger. The thought process goes beyond pizza, because to me, there's missed opportunity within pizza to collaborate with some of the other industries on a bigger level, especially when it comes to some of the minority groups like women and some of the other, the Latino community, the LGBTQ community, like there's a lot of other ways to be able to incorporate them and give them the opportunity, give them the floor and the step up and the access to education, how to open a restaurant or how to morph from a brick and mortar or to expanding into the trucks, or to go from a pop-up to a brick and mortar, there's not a lot of education out there with how do I do this? How do I get it started? How do I evolve it?
Yeah.
And then also because we're partnering with the Bread Lab, we're grain focused. So we're going to be teaching everyone about whole grains, how to incorporate them, and not just talking about wheat. So a lot of the other grains as well. So trying to give people more education and also more dialed in education that's geared towards one specific group.
Yeah.
So that way they can actually take it home and use it immediately, as opposed to trying to like filter through how does this apply to me.
Yeah.
And so that's what we've created, and I'm jazzed it's going to happen. It's happening soon, and there's a lot of the stuff that we're going to be teaching I also want to learn. And so like I've got one person, she's a part of our group, Melinda Carbajal out of Colorado, but she's going to be teaching a course on how to write a grant. How to find and source non-traditional funding, how to get funding that's not just from a bank or from an investor. That there's other, especially for some of these minority groups, there are a plethora of grants out there specifically for them and us. But writing a grant is a crazy process, dealing with the government and all that. But she knows the ins and outs of how to filter through all that and working with your community and getting, all that stuff. So I'm excited. Yeah.
I mean, did you take a course on how to create a nonprofit or?
No, but I know some people.
Yeah, I know you do. And
So-
you're well connected.
But it was also
Was
just...
that a hard thing to do, or is it easier than you'd think?
It's not that it's easy and it's not that it's hard. It's just understanding the factors that go into it and like what's your timeline and what's the government's timeline. And there's a path forward. Yeah. But it's not necessarily a straight line. Yeah. And so for us, it's not necessarily a straight line, but we're getting things done. Yeah. We had planned for this a year in advance. Filing for a 501c3 is normally probably a minimum of a 6 to 8 month process. Okay. So, but there are other versions of nonprofits that people just don't know. Yeah. So there's ways to do things and get it done, which is what we're doing. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it's honestly, one of the big things I've learned from Tony is you got to have an idea and you just got to run with it. You got to find the people that want to run with you. Yeah. And that was I think that's one of the reasons why Tony and I worked so well as a team, was because he's the guy with the crazy ideas. Yeah. But every time he talked to me about something, it was like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Like, what do we got to do? Yeah. And so having a team of people, like with this nonprofit, it's, hey, I have this idea. Hey, I want to do this. I have no idea how we're going to do it or where we're going to get the funding, but we're going to make it happen. Yeah. And every single person is like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So I feel like having the right people around you to facilitate a crazy idea is just as important as the idea.
Well, you probably got 5 psychopaths that own restaurants or that are entrepreneurs. So it's like,
and they are.
Yeah,
that's
basically what you do. Yeah, it's like, I got this crazy idea. I'm going to open up a restaurant and go into debt. It's going to be crazy. Yeah. I know. I'm in, You're going to love it. I'm fucking in, dude.
Yeah. And so it's been great. And I'm excited to see how it evolves. Yeah. And that was the thing. I didn't want it to just be, that's why it's Fork to Future. It's not pizza specific. It's not female specific. It's the beauty is the evolution. Yeah. But for me, it's the education. There's a reason why this is successful. It's not just me. Yeah. But it's also the years previously to build the foundation of the education but being able to give that back. Yeah. And it's not just pizza. It's all of the other versions of hospitality, and getting them incorporated and
sounds incredible.
Building partnerships and all that kind of stuff. Like there's a way to accomplish it all. So let's do it.
I'm excited. When is that summit?
The conference itself is actually the 3rd week of September.
Okay, so it'll be here in no time.
Very soon.
And you guys it's by Karen Springs too. You're gonna tour the mill.
We'll be at Karen Springs.
Yeah, great company.
Yeah, they're awesome. Love their flour. So
you can't use their flour. You can only use Tony G.
Wrong.
Do you do flour blends?
Yeah. So
let's talk about some pizza.
Let's actually talk about pizza. So yes, I do use the Tony G flour.
Yeah, it's in the contract, is what we said.
The contract that doesn't exist. But I do use it because I was using it primarily in the pop-up. Yeah. And for higher hydrations, as well as like the length of fermentation and the timing of it all, it works really well.
Yeah.
When it comes to what I want to accomplish in that realm. But it's not the only flour I use. I use other central milling flours, and I'm bringing in Karen Springs because I want to use it for something specific. And so, like, there's room for it all.
Yeah, of course.
Depending on
my biggest flex is like, I got like 6 different bags of flour back there. I don't know what I'm doing with them, but they're back there. Yeah,
they're there waiting.
Yeah, if I want to do something, it's there.
Hell yeah.
It's like, what, you got buckwheat, rye, organic? I don't know.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna use it.
I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. Yeah, I mean, have you seen how much space I have? I could stack flour.
You should have a ton of flour. You should just have pallets of flour downstairs.
I have space for it. Yeah, I even have an elevator.
Yeah.
So
I know. That's all I meant to. I meant to mention that this is definitely the first restaurant we have ever interviewed at that has an elevator. I think there's like 4 floors up in this piece.
Yeah, there's offices above me. So yeah, there is a 4th floor.
Okay. I thought that was like, that's the floor you can't go to.
It's restricted.
Yes. Do all of your squares, because I'm pretty sure I went to was it your class that was like one? No, I think Tony.
One dough to rule them all.
Yeah. But you and Leah did a square class that I've been to at Expo a couple years back. But do you have different recipes for all the different squares? Because
so
it's
evolving right now. So initially, yes, it's one singular dough, but it's manipulated a little bit differently, depending on what it is.
Just in like the way it's proofed.
Proofing, the bake, the length of maturation, there's different subtlety to that. Yeah. But in essence, yes, it is one singular dough, but that is evolving right now. I purposely did that because it's a 7,500 square foot restaurant and I'm one singular person and I don't have business partners. Yeah. So it's like, how do I simplify my life? So it was teaching the staff how to just make this one dough and bang it out to these 4 different things. Granted, there's differences between them.
Of course.
But simplifying it as much as I could to get it there. But now that I'm at a point where there is stability, there's structure, there's processes, I can now throw in the wrench and be like, now we're going to change
guys,
this.
That was easy, wasn't it? That's over now.
That was the
easy part. We have 5 different recipes. There's 16 pallets of flour back there. They're all different. Yeah. Get to sifting.
Don't forget the tomatoes.
Yeah, you're going to mill these fresh.
Yeah, and so now I've got the ability to kind of change and adapt that. I've got the space to do it. I've got the crew to do it. Yeah. So now I'm affording myself the time to play and change things up and adapt. Granted, I have to take, the clientele into consideration. I can't drastically change everything. I can't all of a sudden be selling rye pizza. Yeah. Because my clientele is going to go, what the hell did you do? Yeah. But to be able to evolve as I evolve. Yeah. And so, I'm looking forward to it.
Is there a lot of education? Because squares can get, like, people don't really understand. Anywhere I go, no one, maybe New York, they don't understand what a grandma is. They don't understand what a Detroit style is. They don't know what a Sicilian is. It's all just deep dish.
Oh my God, I hate the fact that everyone calls it deep dish.
Me too.
It's like nails on a chalkboard.
So are your servers answering the same questions every day?
Well, because of so there's multiple reasons as to why I developed the menu the way it is.
By the way, the menu is laid out really nicely with like the pictures on it.
But you would think pictures help, but
no one reads it.
Well, you would think that a picture would help, but no one even understands that.
Well, I deal with the public, I know.
But yeah, so with the menu, it was how do I offer versatility without overcomplicating as much as I could, which comes down to the one dough, the different applications, all that kind of stuff. But there's no one in this area that's offering squares of any kind.
Oh, so that's a real nice thing that sets you apart?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. There's one person who offers a square. They're an old school place, but they don't offer a lot of it. Okay. And I don't think that they're particularly known for that one thing.
Okay. It's like there, but it's not the thing.
Exactly. Like they've been there for 30 years or something like that. They just changed ownership. But so they have it, but most people still don't know it as that's what they have. Yeah. So when I brought the squares in, it automatically changed the game for me because it was, who's this? They offer versatility. Now I got everybody coming because it's something that's different. There's enough variety for everyone. And I love a good square. And so I knew that I wanted to do it. The squares are what I always come back to. Yes, I love a slice pie. I love an artisanal pie. I love a Neapolitan. I love playing in all those areas, but I always come back to the square. And so I knew that that's what I wanted to develop my menu as. And being able to offer the 4 different styles as choose your base and then choose your topping, it meant that I had 4 times the amount of versatility without changing a thing.
Yeah.
So now I've got people, it's, I want to try, even just a cheese or pepperoni pie. It tastes different.
Of course.
As every different version.
Because it bakes different.
So it means that people are coming back more often. It means that they're sharing it at parties and things like that. And so it captures a wider audience. For sure. Yeah.
How much to go do you do here?
A lot.
Yeah, okay.
A lot.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday to go is just like outrageous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it ever bottleneck? Like with dine-in and to go, or you have like the biggest fucking pizza master, so. Yeah. But I imagine, like with squares too, like, are your squares baked? I'm asking you like just a bunch of questions.
We par bake.
Do your squares bake at the same temperature as your rounds?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Everything was manipulated to make it as like streamlined as possible, especially with the way that the menu is. And yes, we've got a giant oven, but it's one oven. Yes, we've got multiple decks, but I can't have something taking 25 minutes when everything else comes. Just knowing that area and how tight it is. There's not a lot of space for, okay, fire this first and then wait 10 minutes and fire this thing. It's like, no, just fucking go.
Yeah.
And so the oven is dialed in so that everything cooks at the same temp and everything kind of cooks in roughly the same amount of time. So even if it's a 12-inch round or an 18-inch round, it's still cooking very closely to a Detroit pie or a Sicilian.
Yeah.
So everything kind of comes out as family style, right? It's just going to come out, it's going to hit your table, and they're going to come out one right after the other.
Yeah.
But it streamlines the kitchen. There's 4 people, usually max, over there.
Yeah.
But they're elbow to elbow. Yeah. So there's not a lot of room for, and then also with the amount of pans, it's not just the pans that are ready to go in the oven. It's what do you do with all the pans coming out of the oven?
Yeah.
So there's just a limitation to space. So figuring out how to streamline that so that it does flow the way that it does. And it does flow as a circle. So that way there's no crossover.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Do you have Lloyd pans in all of those sizes?
3 different sizes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a couple that I use for like events and teaching and stuff like that. But
how many do you have?
We have a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually need more.
Those are not cheap.
No, they're not.
But I imagine you get some type of deal if you're, ordering hopefully a shit ton.
Yeah, but some of that is also I'm a member of the WPC.
Oh,
so
there it is. There it is. There's the fucking flex, dude.
But,
where's your jacket? Don't you have to contractually wear that all the time too?
No.
Hold on, let me put my jacket on. Okay, Rob
I've been
Cervoni.
waiting for you to ask.
Yeah. Where's the jacket? You just go over there. Oh, I forgot.
No,
Pull it out.
But we work with them, so there is a plus to that sponsorship. But also, I've been working with them since
Day
I worked
one.
for Tony's. So.
Well, I feel like I got to ask you this question because I asked Leah, who parties the hardest on the WPC?
It's strange because it's changed a lot. It's been interesting because I've been on the team since 2013.
Yeah, it's a long time. So you're going to know a little bit more than Leah does.
But they've all aged.
I know. That's everyone but Tony. He actually looks younger.
So they've all aged. So they don't party as hard as they used to.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a core group that likes. But at the same time, when you take pizza makers out, take business owners out of their business,
I know,
and you say, hey, here's 3 days in Vegas to yes, work, but also have fun.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna go hard sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
I'm gonna need a name though.
Maybe next time.
Okay. All right. I think Leah got out of it by saying herself. All right. Then the other question that is only fair is Chris Decker or John Arena?
Oh, that's not fair.
I'm not going to answer out of you for that one.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
I love them both.
Yeah.
But Chris is a very dear friend. And I feel like also, granted, he's worked for John way longer than I worked for Tony.
Yeah.
But our careers are parallel to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And so I have a bond and a friendship with him that no one else will understand because he's kind of experienced a career similar to mine.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he's one of my best friends. He's a good dude, super talented, smart.
Yeah.
And then John is like Yoda to everybody.
Yeah, that's what they call him.
Tony's like the older brother. So,
yeah.
like, we're all family.
Yeah.
It's just we all play different roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope, I like to repeat myself because that's what I do. But I told the story, like the World Pizza Champions, like the Chef Coke gang, like it's like those guys. Like,
I know, we're those people.
Do people, I'll tell my story, and then ask the question, but it's like, it was like 2 years ago. I've been going to Expo for a while. Like you just like, you see the same people in the magazines, like, and some people don't pay attention to a lot of this stuff. Expo is like definitely its own like cultural phenomenon, and there's different cliques and stuff, but like it's like a big deal. Like like World Pizza Champions are all over it, and like it's the thing, and they're teaching all the classes. But like I've known about like all the heavy hitters, like they're like superheroes, like in the pizza today, like since like I've been in the industry since like 2008. So you flip through PMQs and Pizza Today's.
You see a lot of the same
people.
So
it's like, So I've seen all you guys, and like this podcast has allowed me to really get to meet a lot of people that I wouldn't. But 2 years ago, I'm like, my friends get up, and I'll be like, I'll be right with you. Like I'll meet up with you guys, and I'm at the Stanislaus booth, and you and Chris Decker sat down right next to me, and I was like, fuck, should I be like, yay, hey, like I'm a big fan. I was like, no, that'd be fucking weird. Like, why would I? Well, and then I was like, I drank my wine and I left. But it was like, do people ever like fangirl or fanboy like oh my God, Laura Meyer?
No, and I don't ever really want that. It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't think of myself in that way.
Yeah.
I don't think Chris thinks of himself in that way because, our heart is in the business and our heart is in the food and stuff. And so we don't think about the exterior stuff in that way. At least I don't.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I teach, I write for the magazine, I speak, I do all of these things, but I do it because it's for the love of the game, and it's for the love of the pizza, and it's not necessarily because I'm seeking fame and fortune.
Yeah, but it helps your business too.
Well, but it's
there's just certain people that like I know when I tell somebody who I'm interviewing or like blah like Leah's been around for a really long time. You've been doing it for a really long time. A lot of the newer people in this industry don't kind of like, maybe don't come from like the Pizza Expo era, and they're getting in and like they were a pop-up and now they're doing their thing. But like, even getting those people, I'll be like, dude, you got to fucking go to Expo. Like it's going to blow your mind. But like, y'all have been doing it for so long that it's like, you do, there is a sense in the pizza community, but whether you know it or not, but like people are like, oh, that's gonna be a good one, or I've been waiting for that one, or like, wow, I've been following that person's career. I mean, I know it must happen to you. People come up to you at the end of your talks. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God.
Well, I definitely feel like my career is definitely because of Tony, and obviously Tony being Tony. There's a certain light that has been shown on me and my career. And, a lot of people know my story. A lot of people appreciate, I've been doing it a long time, but I also haven't been afraid to jump into things. Tony didn't force me to do anything. Tony didn't ask me to compete. Tony didn't want to take me to Pizza Expo the very first time.
Yeah.
I've had to, it's also through my growth is, there's a certain, like Tony is the top. He is probably one of the most famous pizza makers out there.
Yeah.
And so for me, I don't think of myself that way because I stand next to Tony and I go, who am I to, like.
Yeah, but you're so much of Tony's story too, though.
Yeah.
Like
well,
whether
there's a duplicity to it. Like we're family now, and so you can't tell his story without me.
Saying Laura Meyer,
and you can't tell my story without him.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the grandeur of it all, I don't think of myself that way because I still have so much further to go. And we also weirdly are at this point where I'm now at the point where he was when I first started. And so it's like kind of coming full circle in a way. And so I feel like...
Oh, weird. Is that weird?
It's weird.
Yeah.
Like I'm the same age that he was when I first started. It's like all of this, and it's my first restaurant. It's all kind of for me, I got to wrap my brain around it.
Are you like, where's my Laura Meyer?
I'm searching.
Yeah.
If you're out there, come on in.
I'm recruiting.
We're hiring.
Yeah.
But it's flattering for sure.
Yeah.
But it's also a reminder of like the hard work means something to somebody.
Yeah.
Because sometimes for me, I think I write these articles for Pizza Today and I go, is this helping anybody?
Yeah.
Like, is anybody out there? Is anybody listening?
I think that's easy to feel. Yeah.
And so because it goes out and you don't get really any feedback from it. And so I feel like Pizza Expo and those teaching opportunities are great because it means that you actually see the work that you've done.
Yeah.
And to see the work that you've
you get
put
to see
in.
faces.
Yeah, and the fact that it's helped them, and sometimes it's a little awkward to have someone fawn over you, and you're like kind of like, okay, but I'm just Laura. Let's talk pizza, kind of a thing. But at the same time, it's comforting. It's an acknowledgement.
Yeah, it is cool.
I've done cool things. I've accomplished.
You're
some
pretty cool.
things.
You're a cool person, and that's what's up.
Yeah, but it's not something that I like. am constantly reminding myself of.
Yeah.
Well,
that'd be weird.
It would be.
At least
but hey, they are out there.
100%. And listen, you're just not admitting it on air, which would be smart. Let me ask you one more question. Sure. How have you changed the most, like, yourself since this restaurant has opened? And what has changed on the menu or in your processes since the restaurant is open till now?
I think a lot of my confidence, for one, because stepping into an ownership role is unlike anything else when you have that ultimate responsibility of every single thing. We all know that, when you're an employee, even when you're at the highest as an employee, you only know so much. You only get exposure to so much. There's just certain things that only ownership can do, that only ownership can be responsible for. And so when you finally step into that role, it's like sometimes it has felt like this overwhelming burden of like, what the hell did I get myself into? Because it's not just me and the business anymore. It's now I have the responsibility of 25 other people and paying their bills and their family and their feelings. And there's so many feelings.
A lot of feelings.
All the time. Yeah. And so it's a lot. And so, but my confidence is like, I got this, I can do this, I can manage all of the things. Like that has definitely, I think, evolved the most. In the beginning, there was a lot of, I think, statements of starting sentences with, I think, whereas now it's just do this, and being able to change that kind of language and not just the language, but the mindset that goes with it of, it's not, I think, it's, I know.
Yeah.
And it's not, can you please, it's do, and being able to, doing it in the right way and doing it in a nice way.
Yeah.
But being able to tell other people that I know what I'm doing, you don't have to doubt it. It's going to work out.
Yeah.
And just doing that in a very like expedited way.
Yeah.
And so that I feel like has changed a lot for me.
Yes.
And that has also expanded outside the restaurant with, being able to participate in other things and, doing the nonprofit and expanding into all these other things. Cause it's like, no, I can do this. I built this. I can do anything.
Yeah.
Like I'm managing this without partners. I can do this.
Yeah.
So the confidence for one, but on the menu, I mean, we've kind of kept the menu pretty streamlined. We haven't changed it a ton in terms of like its core processes yet.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm working on now, because now with the market and that extension, I'm looking to branch into other things. So I think that evolution is starting now. But up until this point, it's been about getting to a stability point, getting to that where we've got it dialed in.
Yeah.
And now let's change things. So.
All right, one last question. What are you going to branch into in that market? Because you said off camera, you said like you haven't really like been pushing anything because you got a lot going on. But what is the final idea for that space? Yeah,
for me, personally, I want to hone in my bread skills. It's similar yet so different. So, and I've got the ability to do it. I've got, an oven that I can fix downstairs that is a bread oven.
I love the way it looks.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but I love that it's in the wall.
Yeah, I still don't even really know what it is.
I can smell the fresh bread down there.
But being able to evolve into that, which means transforming it kind of more into a structured deli, you know, where there's sandwiches where we're making our bread, you know, and involving kind of into that retail aspect. I have a non-compete with Subway, so.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Is Subway like
Subway's on the other corner?
Oh God!
And because they're in the corner, but I made them define what is the sandwich.
Yeah.
In the lease, so there's 10 million loopholes, so it's fine.
All right, wonderful.
I just can't sell cold cuts on a roll.
Okay.
Not a problem.
So you could basically use a country loaf for like a
focaccia.
Yeah,
it could be anything.
Okay.
So there's a lot of ways for me to branch into that, but
Yeah.
to be able to also branch out into that versatility, like pizza is great. We offer it by the slice for lunch, but there is that kind of sector that we're missing.
Yeah.
Especially with the grab and go. There's a lot of concerts. So this is the music venue. There's music venues everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, so there's just like that little part that's missing.
Yeah.
And so I want to branch into that, but also because of all the students, and there's so much physical student housing literally on this block, and that they're actively building. I want to develop some things for them that are grab and go, that, you know, they have the money to eat out because it's Cal.
Yeah.
It's Cal.
Yeah. It's Berkeley, baby.
But, you know, it's I don't want to cook, but I don't actually want to eat out, and I don't actually want to make it, you know? So we're going to evolve into the grab and go type area, the frozen, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different things.
Would you make coffee?
I mean, I could.
Yeah.
I mean, my landlord's a roaster and owns a roastery.
He's a fucking roaster. He's a deadhead.
But yeah, so you never know. Coffees, I feel like I don't want to be here at 6 a.m.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't think I want any employee here at 6 a.m.
Yeah,
You know? So,
fair enough. Do you have a coffee machine here?
hell yeah, I do.
Yeah, you got
And
a
it's an
little-
old school one.
little-
It's a lever. It's,
Oh, yeah.
You just have to count in your head
Nice.
kind of a thing. So, yeah.
Well,
You never know.
You never know. That's
You never
100%. I mean, in 3 months, you could be slanging the best coffee in Berkeley. You know, you never know.
You never know.
You can do anything.
I only got Blue Bottle around the corner.
Yeah, well,
I
come
can-
on. They sold the Nestle and fell off. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's
It's an open market, baby. This neighborhood's missing good coffee. I want to say thank you for making the time. I know you're very busy.
Yeah, thanks
we
for
had a
having
little
me.
window,
Thanks for coming
and
out.
this was awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, not to fawn or fangirl, but this was fun. Thank you.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I had a good time.
All right, good.
Thanks.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you so much.